My name is Iain Sarjeant and I'm a photographer and photo book publisher based in Rossshire up in the Highlands. My main interest is in the landscape and people's relationship with their environment. This can be anything from wildland and remote communities right through to inner cities. I also use photography to explore my own personal relationship with the landscape and my surroundings. I split my time between personal projects, occasional commercial work and photo book publishing through Another Place Press, which I set up about 3 years ago. Much of my photography is spontaneous in nature, wandering, exploring, observing, often in everyday places. My project Out of the Ordinary very much developed from this approach and reflects my interest in people's relationship with their surroundings. The work explores the kind of places that most of us walk or drive past every day, often places where the infrastructure of human habitation interacts with the natural environment. These are dynamic landscapes, constantly being altered, and part of the fascination for me is the element of chance involved, stumbling on scenes that often look very different the following month, day, or even hour. I'm still working on the project, and for me it has become a journey through everyday Scotland. When I started developing ideas for Out of the Ordinary, initially I was simply interested in a personal challenge of creating visually interesting images in seemingly mundane and everyday places, such as this play park in Mayfield near Edinburgh. I was drawn to the bold elements of colour and form in the landscape, and of course snow adds a fascinating extra layer of interest too, transforming any scene. As the years have passed working on this project, I've noticed that many of the images have become interesting historical records in themselves. I often revisit locations a couple of years later to find them vastly altered, such as this image of South Queensferry, an area of great change over the last 5 years. With the new bridge, this would look quite different today. I see the project almost as becoming a visual survey of Scotland's social landscape at a very interesting time of change. I sometimes look to introduce an element of ambiguity to the images I create. I like the viewer to feel a little uncertain what is going on. With this image of a wrecked car in air, I liked the lack of context, leaving viewers to ponder the scenario. If you wander the streets enough, it's amazing how many interesting and quirky scenes you come across. An aspect of the landscape that fascinates me is the interplay between human and natural elements. This is sometimes most obvious and interesting in rural locations, such as here on the Dromochter. The red cones and signs are starkly highlighted against the snow with the mountain in the background. It's a very transient scene, temporary cones, a light dusting of snow, another example of a chance encounter where, for me, all the elements came together really well.